Well, it looks like this little park is no longer going to be a park. Trail closures, like right up over there. Many, I counted over 75 old growth trees are going to be cut down. And 2 large homes for the wealthy will be put in this place. And it's so pretty here. But like everything else, humans have to cut everything down and put their own thing in. And to hell with whatever was here before them. They have to have their 6,000 to 8,000 square foot homes in San Francisco, where 500 square feet will cost you $2,500 a month. Talk about out of touch with reality. There's been another huge fire increase up north here, and the fires down south are about the same. The smoke is forever here, it seems like. Everything's brown. The street, the sidewalks, the cars, they all have a thin layer of brown on them around them now, or on them. It seems to be like a fine grease, brown grease. But even with climate change coming faster and faster, we're still ready to cut down 75 old growth trees just for 2 homes for the extra wealthy. Unbelievable. But they're not going to be able to avoid this. Global food supply to decline for the first time in 30 years. New data. The number of people experiencing malnutrition will grow by 80% by the end of the year, according to David Beasley, Executive Director of UN Food Program. It's not from me, it's from the UN. More long-term damage is bound to materialize in the years to come, he says, because of the leaders we have. Everybody's so afraid of people coming in from out of state to pick the fields that there's no longer a group of people that are willing to come in and pick the fields for, $50 a day or whatever little money they make. It's almost nothing. So instead of getting food on the table, we're going to start seeing starvation around the world because of this I'm too good to, right? I'm too good to pay the right wages to get people to come and pick the food. I'm too good to work for those low wages, picking the food. So, my advice, some beans will last 3 to 4 years. I myself am storing up dried beans and dried anything I can get that will last 3 to 4 years. And I will slowly eat it and refresh it as I go along, just in case something does happen to our food program. Speaking of food, many foods that humans, oh dear. Speaking of luxuries that humans love to have, like pearl necklaces, you've seen them, 3-4 layers long. Do you know how long of lifespan that sits on those pearls? Do you know how long that the animals that make pearls live for? Well, let's find out. Pearls are made from clams, mussels, and oysters. Clams live between 50 to 100 years in the wild. Mussels live 60 to 70 years in the wild. Oysters live up to 30 years in the wild, but some oysters can live up to 150 years in the wild. So many people don't understand how pearls are made, or how the bivalves make pearls. It's not a small piece of sand that gets stuck that they make a pearl around. No, it's not it. It's actually a nasty parasite that gets in that they start to put the mother of pearl around, and they keep layering it year after year after year to make sure that it stays in there and doesn't infect the oysters. Very, very clever. However, pearl farmers, as they're called, place a small sphere of mollusk shell or mother of pearl into the bivalve that they're making pearls out of. So then you also are losing the life of a mollusk who had to have its shell broken apart so that little pieces could be put in other living bivalves to make pearls. So now that you know that each clam or bivalve makes one pearl at the most, maybe two, that you're just think of all the years that these clams, oysters, and mussels gave for that pearl necklace. Think of all of it. Thousands and thousands of years to give that. Because once you take the pearl out, you kill the bivalve. And some people are so sick, they'll rip the bivalve open and eat it raw. Eat it alive. You know, brainwashing is a thing that humans need to get a handle on. And it's amazing how we're brainwashed into saying that those pearls are perfectly fine. That it's just a shellfish. Who cares about shellfish, even if they live 150 years? Well, we have to realize that shellfish are about 90% the same as humans. Hello? What are we doing? How are we getting ourselves to believe that it's okay to take a lobster and dump it into boiling water? How can you do that? How can you say it's okay to take crabs and dump them into boiling water alive? How can the brainwashing take place where you think that's okay? Think that's okay? Think that's okay? It isn't. Okay, well, we're going to go up this way. This is such a pretty area, the forest and the whole thing. And to brainwash ourselves into thinking it's perfectly okay to come in and tear out all this vegetation and wildlife just for 2 homes. That's brainwashing, and there's no other way of an excuse for this. You don't need 6 to 7, 8,000 square foot to live in. The average person in San Francisco, we live in 550 or 650. 550 square feet or 650 square feet, about the size of a garage. And sometimes there's even more than one person living in that space. They live just fine. They don't need all that space. But brainwashing says we do. Brainwashing says drop the lobster into the boiling water. Sick, sick. How would you like to be boiled alive? Can you somehow okay that? I appreciate all the ups, the downs, and the new subscribers on a smoke-filled hot California day. Until next time.